Your Cricut can do what? Stick around because today I'm going to be bringing you 10 different things that I bet you didn't know that your Cricut could do. My name is Lauren and I'm a craft producer here at Maker's Gonna Learn, and let's go ahead and jump into all of the things that I bet you didn't know your Cricut could do. First up on the list is I bet you didn't know that you could create your own custom cut settings with your Cricut. Now, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. So let's go ahead and jump over to Design Space so I can show you how. Now that we're here on the mat, I just have a heart here so that we have something on our canvas. You're going to make sure that you choose the machine that you have here in this drop-down menu. Once you have chosen your machine, you are going to click Make It. From there, it is automatically putting this on the mat. We're going to click Continue. And once you are here on this screen, you're going to come over here and you're going to select Browse All Material. Now you can see all of the different materials that you can cut with your machine, but you're going to scroll all the way down and you're going to come down here to the material settings. So you're going to select the material settings, and now you can look at the cut pressure, if you have multi-cut off, what blade type you use, and you can actually edit all of these different materials from here. Now, to create your own custom starting from the very beginning, you will once again scroll down to the bottom, and at the very bottom there is a button that says Add New Material. You are going to select that. You are going to type in your material type. I'm just going to name this New Material. And then you are going to save that. It will then put it in alphabetical order. And here is where you can adjust your pressure setting. You can go down if you are working with a thinner material. You can go up if you are working with a thicker material. You can turn your multi-pass on. So if you want it to do 3 different passes, you can do that. You can choose how many passes it does with this. And then you can choose between the fine point or the deep point blade. Once you have chosen your pressure settings and then chosen if you want 1 or 2 passes, you are then going to go to Save. And now you have your new material cut setting here. You can always go back and edit your material cut setting, turn those multi-passes off, decrease the pressure, increase the pressure, whatever, and then save that. And then as you can see, it saves all of your changes. Now to number 2. Now this is something that maybe some of you all know about, some of you all may not, but when I learned about it, it absolutely blew my mind and changed the game for me. And that is the front part of your Cricut, and this is on the Maker and the Explore series, is actually a storage drawer or door that you can lift up and store different materials in. And y'all, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to bring this into view overhead. But if you can see here, this little strip of metal right here, that is actually a magnet, and there are slots right down here where you can put replacement blades in your front drawer of your Cricut. And this is something that I did not know when I first started using a Cricut, but has absolutely changed the game because I can keep all of my new blades here and I know exactly where they are at all times, and it's so easy. They stick right in there so you do not have an issue of losing them. And then you can even store other materials. So if you have a scoring stylus or you have other adaptive blades that you want to keep with your Cricut, you can store them here and just shut it. And then once you're done, close it up and it does not bother anything. Number 3 is, did you know that your Cricut can actually hold other markers, not just the Cricut markers? Now, our favorite marker to use in this slot is the Crayola Super Tip markers. You can use different ones, but we absolutely love using the Crayola Super Tip. A lot of times you just pop that in and close that and it keeps it really nice and snug. Like I said, there are other markers you can use, but you do not have to use exclusive Cricut markers when you are writing or drawing with your Cricut. Now on to tip 4 and 5, and we're going to do these together. Now, this first one, number 4, is going to be for Maker and Maker 3 Cricut users. And this is, did you know that your Cricut can actually charge your phone or your tablet? If you didn't, if you'll turn your Maker to the side, you will see that there is a USB port here on the side of your machine. All you have to do is take your charging cord, plug it into the side here in the USB port, and then take your phone or your tablet and plug it in, and it starts charging. Now, the second part to this is, did you know that this ridge on your Cricut Maker or this ridge here on your Cricut Explore, there is a true purpose to this. It's not just there for looks. It is actually there so that you can place your tablet or your phone in there so that it can be supported while you are using it with your Cricut. So this is how it fits on the Maker series, and this is how it will fit here on the Explore series. Number 6 is for our Cricut Joy users. Now, we wanted to try to touch on a little bit of something with every machine, so this one is specifically going to be for our friends who use the Cricut Joy. And this is, I bet you didn't know that you could actually do print and cut using your Cricut Joy. Now, hear me out. It is not technically a function that is offered with the Cricut Joy. However, there is a workaround, and it's very simple to do. There is a full tutorial on how to do that linked down in the description below, so make sure you go, if you are a Cricut Joy user, go and click that video and watch that if you want to learn how to do print and cut using your Cricut Joy. Number 7. I know I said a while ago we wanted to make sure that we touched on something for everyone here. So we've talked about the Cricut Joy print and cut hack, we've talked about things with the Maker series, and we've talked about things with the Explore Series 3. But what about the Explore Series 2? So if this is you and you have this machine, I bet you didn't know that you need to always keep your knob on the custom cut setting. So as you can see here, there are all of these different cut settings on the Cricut Explore Series 2. However, it is so much easier to dial it over to the custom setting and leave it there. Do not touch this knob. That way, once you leave it on the custom setting, you can choose what material you are using in Design Space, and you can still, like the first hack that I showed you, how to add in your new cut settings specific to different materials that you're going to be using, you can do all of that from Design Space. So I bet you didn't know that you never need to touch the knob on your Cricut Explore Air 2. Number 8. And honestly, y'all, this is one of my favorites. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I adore embroidery. And this thing that I bet you didn't know your Cricut could do is create embroidery patterns, words, and things that you can use to embroider different materials. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now that we're over here in Design Space, I'm going to show you my favorite way of using this software to create an embroidery template to embroider on different things. I especially love using this with text because I love for my text on my embroidery projects to be seamless. So I like using different fonts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the text. You're going to grab your favorite Maker's Gonna Learn text. Here we have Amore. And then you're going to type in your word or your name that you want to use. So today we're just going to use Asher. You will then size that up or down depending on what you are embroidering this on. And then what you are going to do next is you are going to flatten it. And this is going to be for any design that you choose, whether it's the text, you're going to flatten all of the text together because we do want to use this as a print and cut. So what you're going to do now is you're going to hit Make It, and then you are going to change your material size 8.5 by 11, and we're just going to send this to our printer. Now, you're going to print this on a printable stabilizer. My personal favorite stabilizer to use when I'm designing things in Design Space rather than just freehanding a design is the Sulky Stick and Stitch Water Soluble Stabilizer. Now, it is a great material to work with if you are working with like a t-shirt or cotton material that has a lot of stretch and give to it, because once you stick it down on your material that you are embroidering, it will keep it in place. So once you have designed everything in Design Space, you will print it on that Sulky Stick and Stitch, get it out of your printer, cut off all of the excess. You actually don't even have to use your Cricut for this. This is really a Design Space workaround. And then you will stick it on the fabric that you're going to be embroidering, embroider it, and then stick it under the water to dissolve the stabilizer. If you want to learn a lot more on exactly how to use this technique, once again, there is a video linked down below that you can click and watch where we actually use the Sulky Stick and Stitch Stabilizer on a pair of jeans and create a beautiful custom embroidered pair of jeans. Number 9. I bet you didn't know or maybe realize that your Cricut can cut longer than 24 inches. Now, this is something that we don't do a lot here on this channel, but it can be done. And there are certain projects where you do need to print longer than 24 inches. And in that case, that is where the Cricut Smart Material is really going to come in handy. Now, with this material, you can cut as long as the material is. If you are creating a decal, let's say for an outside window that has to be a lot longer than 24 inches, you can do that. And it's super easy with the Cricut Smart Material. Last but certainly not least is number 10. For this final Cricut hack that I bet you didn't know you could do is I bet you didn't know that you could cut multiple colors on the same mat. Let me show you how. Here you can see in Design Space, we have 2 different objects that we want to cut because we are layering vinyl, but they are 2 different colors. Now, what you're going to do, you are going to go to Make It. It is going to separate this out onto 2 different mats. We're going to change this to 12 by 12. You're going to go to one of the mats, have the object selected. You're going to click these 3 dots in the top left-hand corner, and we're going to move this object. It is currently on the black mat, but we want to move it to the blue mat. Now, it is going to change the color of this to blue, but we know that this heart, this larger heart, we need to cut out in black. So we're just going to move it over here to the top right-hand corner and keep the smaller heart on the top left-hand corner. Now, we are going to cut different colors, but remember, they still need to be the same material. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to Continue. We are going to select the material that we're going to be working with. And then the real magic happens when you place your material on your mat. So remember, the smaller heart, which we want it to be blue, is going to be in the top left-hand corner. So we're going to place this material here. And then the larger heart that was black, we placed in the top right-hand corner. So we're going to place the black material over here. Once you have placed the material where it is on the mat in Design Space, then you're going to be ready to send this through to your Cricut to cut it. Once it has cut, you're going to unload your mat, and you can see that we have our 2 different hearts, and we have saved time, and they are both on the same mat. I really hope that you enjoyed these 10 hacks that I bet you didn't know that you could do with your Cricut. If you are new to our channel, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every single time we get crafty. If you enjoyed these hacks, make sure to check out this video so that you can learn even more hacks using your Cricut.